To Be or Not to Be by Bob Davidson.
Hello? Oh, you're alive!
Aye, I'm afraid so. Where am I?
You're lying on the ground in your garden. I thought maybe...
You thought maybe what? Did you think I was dead?
Well, if I was being honest, yes. Yes, for a moment it did cross my mind.
Well, nae such luck, I'm afraid. Ain't other days. It'll no be long now. I'm getting closer to it every day. Every morning I wake up, I open my een and I think, bugger, another new day.
Is it as bad as that?
Aye. Well, no really. Sometimes. See this damn knee of mine, gies awa just when you least expect it. It'll be the death of me one of these days.
Can you wiggle your toes?
My toes? What the hell do you want to ken that for?
Well, it's what people normally ask.
Is it? A bloody daft thing to ask.
Well, I think if you can wiggle them, it means there's nothing broken.
Oh well, I'd better gie it a try, I suppose. Aye, they're wiggling fine.
That's good. No broken bones. How are you feeling?
A bitty better, hen.
It's Rachel. I'm one of your new carers.
Rachel? Huh, that's a braw name. God, aye. That's a braw name. Well, it's nice to meet you, Rachel. You're about the 100th carer I've had.
Aye, well, I'm sure there's maybe another 100 more to come. That's the way this outfit seems to work. What's your name?
Mr. Taylor?
I know you're Mr. Taylor. What's your first name?
Oh, I've never been asked for that afore. I didn't think you were allowed to call me by my first name.
I'm not.
I usually get pet or darling or some bloody rubbish. How are we today, sweetheart?
So what is it?
It's Davie.
Right. Well, is it okay for me to call you Davie?
Aye.
Okay, Davie it is. Now, what would you like me to do, if anything at all? Do you want to stay down there or do you want to get up?
I think I'd like to get up.
Thought you might.
I'll probably manage by myself. You just bide there and be ready to call the fire brigade.
You gonna burst into flames?
You never know what might happen when I get going. There's a seat there, Rachel. Bring it over, will you? That's a bitty better.
Are you fine?
I'm fine.
Do you like a cup of tea?
Och, I'll get in a wee while.
Okay, I'll make you one.
I didn't think you were allowed to make me a cup of tea. Health and safety and all that.
I'm not, but I'll do a quick risk assessment. Can I switch on a kettle? Yes. There now, that didn't take long. Do you take milk and sugar?
Just a wee spot of milk. I haven't had a home help like you afore.
Aye, well, I'm 1 in a million, Davie. Have you got any biscuits?
I'm no allowed biscuits.
No allowed biscuits? No allowed? Who's no allowing you?
The doctor.
Oh, Davie, you didn't want to listen to them. Doctors, what do they know? I think I've got a Twix somewhere. We'll half it.
God, I haven't had a biscuit in years. It's sheer purgatory. Life's no worth living. A Twix, eh?
How old are you, Davie, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 80.
Well, if you can't have a Twix when you're 80, when can you have one?
You're no writing me off, are you?
No, me. All I'm saying is, a little bit of what you fancy does you good. Excuse me a minute, Davie. It's my boy. Hello, Jack? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Oh, dear. And did you have to swim in your pants? Yeah, they would go a bit droopy when they were wet. Oh, no, did it? And no towel? Of course, Jack. What if I make macaroni cheese for tea tonight to make up for it? I know I was going to make it anyway. Okay. I'm sorry, Jack, I'm sorry. I'll see you later, eh? I love you too.
I haven't had macaroni cheese for years either. It's another thing I'm no allowed. It's like being in prison.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they do macaroni cheese in prison. I would imagine it's the sort of thing you could make in bulk. I'll bring you some tomorrow and you can fling it in your microwave. How are you feeling now?
I'm fine. In fact, I'm fine enough to do the job I was on my way to do when this old knee of mine let me down. Do you ken anything about bees?
Just that they sting you and that they make marmalade.
Marmalade?
Honey. I meant honey.
Aye, well, mine aren't making honey, or marmalade, or raspberry jam either for that matter. There's something going on with the wee devils, and I dinna ken what it is. Come and hae a look.
I'd rather not.
Come on, they'll no sting ye. Well, no all of them anyway. Dearie, dearie, dear. I just can't understand it.
What's the matter?
There's some mere deed-ends, Rachel. That's what's the matter. Every day new, 5 or 10, near 20 one day.
A virus, maybe?
God, you're as bad as my doctor. If they didn't ken what's wrong with you, they'd just say it's a virus and tell you to stop eating chocolate eclairs.
Well, it could be, Davie. You never know. There's got to be something behind it.
I can't understand it. I just can't understand it at all. Oh, no. It's JC. I thought she was a survivor. Bare wee blighter. She'll no sting you noo.
That is so sad.
She's been murdered.
Murdered? Who would want to murder a bee?
Another bee. Or bees, mere like. They've murdered her and kicked her out the door. That's how she was lying there. I see Sizewell's still going strong, though. She'll outlive us all.
Sizewell? Isn't that a nuclear power station?
Aye, down in England somewhere. East Anglia, I think. Suffolk, maybe.
Why have you called your bee after a nuclear power station?
Well, there's Sizewell A, and that's Sizewell B. It's a kind of a joke. A play on words, like JC here, JCB.
Ah, I see now.
That ends Plan B, that ends Saturn 5B, that ends Vitamin, and that's...
Flyby?
Flyby, what's that?
It's an airline.
Is it really? Oh, right. I'll remember that. That ends Bewitched, that ends Bejiggered, and that ends Bewildered. And so am I.
And who's that one?
That's Derek.
Derek B.
Now you're just being daft. See that in there? That's the Queen. She came all the way from Hungary.
She didn't fly all the way from Hungary.
No, she came in a van, in a box with some sugar in it for her to eat.
Can you really tell them all apart?
No really. The only way I can tell them apart is by writing their names on their bums with a pencil.
Davie, I've got to leave, I'm running late, but is there anything else I can do for you before I go? Have you got something for your tea? I noticed you'd plenty of milk and porridge oats.
Aye, I've got some soup in the fridge. I like to have a pot of soup on the go. That'll do me fine.
Right. Well, you take it easy, no more falling over. I'll call in tomorrow morning and see how you're doing. I'm sorry your bees are dying. I really am.
Aye, me too. You ken that when all the bees die, the human race will be next.
I didn't know that.
Where have you gone, eh? I've got your wee bodies here in my hand, but where's the rest of ye? Where's all the knowledge gone that was in your wee heads? Is this all that's left of ye? Wee bodies that'll rot at the bottom of the wa'? Or are ye really somewhere else? Somewhere I dinna ken about? Some big hive up in the sky feasting on heavenly clover? Or is that it all over? All done and finished? Just black as hell and silent?
Davie!
What's that?
It's Rachel, remember? I was here yesterday. What did I tell you about falling over?
Oh aye, Rachel, with the Twix and the macaroni cheese. I've got you now.
Come on, up you get.
Hang on a wee.
Sit you down. Tell me what happened.
Well, to tell you the truth, well, I was going to check the hive, and this damn knee of mine gave way, and I fell against it, and it cowped over and scattered things about a bitty, and then it ended up down there.
I see. Did you hurt yourself?
Just my heart, Rachel, just my heart, lass.
How do you mean?
Well, it's no good news. Half of them were dead this morning.
And the axe?
I didn't ken how that got there.
OK. Show me how it all goes back together. I'll give you a hand.
Och, no, leave the bloody thing. They'll all be dead soon anyway. And besides, I didn't want you getting stung.
What's one wee bee sting in the great scheme of things? And you said yourself they won't all sting me. Come on, let's give it a try.
Och, I'd hate to go and get my smoker.
We won't need it.
Who are you, Rachel? Are you an angel?
No, I work for the council. I'm your new carer.
Aye. If I was 50 year younger...
You wouldn't need a carer.
Oh, all right. You win. We'll put it back together. But it's important to stay calm.
I am calm.
If we're calm, the bees will be calm.
I am calm.
Aye, all right, calm down.
I am calm.
That's good.
Where do we start?
At the beginning, Rachel. At the beginning. It's where all things starts. God, I've never seen the bees so calm. Look at them. It must be your influence.
I can do magic, Davie.
I believe you maybe can. Hand me your in of they frames. Gently does it.
This is a bit of an adventure. Didn't think I'd be rebuilding a beehive today.
Adventure? I ken nothing about adventures. I'm the most unadventurous bugger in the whole world. Even my national service was spent in Aldershot. 2 years changing lorry tyres.
National service, eh? I mind my grandad talking about that. Grandpa Donny, we used to call him. He was my mum's dad. I think he was in the RAF. He said he spent 2 years in a shed up in Buchan. He said it rained the whole time. Something about keeping an eye out for Russian bombers or something. Did it do you any good, Davie? Was it the making of you?
Well, I learned how to change lorry tyres, if that's what you mean. Fat lot of good that's done me. I haven't changed one since. The most adventurous I've been since then is setting a new plough or driving the combine.
Do you think we should bring it back?
National service? God, no.
Be nice to think there was some sort of scheme to look after young folk who've been left behind. 2 or 3 years where they're given a bit of opportunity, bit of routine, wee bit of discipline, aye, sure. But a chance to do some good, get some guidance away from the normal day-to-day stuff, and a feeling that there's a future for them. 'Cause the painful truth, Davie, is that there's no future for a lot of them. A whole generation lost. We lost souls living in a grey world. That's what they need, a bit of colour.
Aye, well, we all need a bit of colour in our lives. I've had it lucky living here. Nothing to complain about. Plenty of colour when you live in the country. And variety too, the seasons see to that. Never 2 days the same. Can get a bit grey in the winter, but that doesn't last long. Especially as you get older. A year goes by in about 10 minutes these days, and the winters aren't anything like as bad as they used to be.
I planned loads of adventures when I was at school. I was pretty bright. Laziness was my problem. Stay on till 6th year and then university after a gap year, of course. That's when the adventures would start.
If it's a gap year.
Oh, us bright folk hae them, Davie. It's because we think we're worth it. We deserve it. A year out to go travelling, but it's really just a year off to go on holiday. India, Thailand, Australia, they're the favourites. New Zealand.
Oh, I've got a cousin out there. Worked in a dairy. He was new married when he went out. Ane of the £5 tickets that were going about at the time. 6 weeks in the boat, I think it took them mind. I sometimes took to go out and see them, but it's a hell of a distance. He's retired now.
South America, that's another favourite. But usually just to the touristy bits, you know. The safe bits. Somewhere they can email for more cash from their anxious parents, who are delighted to be asked for it. Gives them a bit of control, a wee lever. Bribe the offspring to remain reliant on them. And they tell their friends, oh yes, Charlie's trekking in Ecuador at the moment.
Judge not, Rachel.
I know, I'm a bitchy. But the only trekking some youngsters get to do is between the brew and the mobile phone shops. I just wonder what we're all doing, where we're all going sometimes. You know, kids aren't spending all day playing computer games these days. They're spending all day watching their parents play computer games. How sad is that?
Aye. So nae trekking in Brazil for you?
Didn't happen, Davie. None of it happened. What is it again? The best laid plans of mice and men.
Gang aft a glie, and leave us not but grief and pain.
Grief and pain, that's it. Grief and pain. It's amazing the difference an hour can make. An hour and a bottle of cider. 1 minute you're chancing your arm, lying about your age in the local spar. An hour later you're both drunk and pregnant. And 15.
Oh, but Rachel, surely that's no grief and pain. That's just life, is it no?
I was the talk of the town.
Hypocrites, everyone, I bet you.
But bringing up Jack's been an adventure, that's for sure. Never a dull moment. Oh, I've got macaroni cheese for you. In fact, I could never have imagined an adventure like it. Just wasn't quite what I'd planned, really. But it's been a million times better than lying on a beach in Goa.
Maybe the unplanned ones are the best, eh? I think if you get hour-long to plan, you just end up planning and planning and planning while nobody else is getting on with it.
I'm not so bad now. But I used to be so scared. I was terrified anything would happen to him. They're so dependent, these tiny wee folk who didn't ask to be born, propped up the cushions on the sofa looking at you with their big eyes and smiling innocent smiles. They know it all. They're so wise. I wish I knew what they knew. They're born with so much knowledge, and all we do is bash it out of them, because we know best and don't realise it's all been bashed out of us. We live our lives backwards. I'd look at that adorable wee soul and I would burst out crying. It was unbearable at times. I just felt so sorry for Jack that I'd brought him into this crazy world. Oh, speak of the devil. Hello, Jack. What? Was that today? But this is Wednesday. What? Is it? Seems a bit weird to me. Oh, Jack, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. And you've no eggs. Or flour. I'm sorry. Look, we'll make pancakes when you come home. Me and you. I'd like that too. I forgot, Jack. I'm sorry. Okay, see you later. I love you too. I am the world's most awful mum. Who ever heard of making pancakes on a Wednesday?
Shrove Wednesday.
Exactly. Can I tell you something, Davie?
Aye, of course you can.
I think Jack has been bullied at school. I've spoken to his teacher, but I don't know that she's doing anything about it. I think maybe it's my fault.
Your fault? How can it be your fault?
Well, I don't think I pay enough attention. I forgot his swimming stuff yesterday, his pancake stuff today, and of course when he turns up with no trunks at the swimming baths, he's an easy target. And that's my fault. It's just that I'm so busy, you've no idea. I'm hounded about doing these visits, and by the time I get home I'm exhausted. And then I've got Jack full on. Then there's his tea to make and homework to help him with, and before we know it, it's bedtime. And all I do is blink and the alarm's going off next morning. Don't get me wrong, he's a smashing boy and I love him to bits. But I'm struggling to cope.
By the sounds of things, you've got pancakes to make the night.
Yep.
Well, it sounds like Jack is a lucky lad having you for a mum. Making pancakes at the scale is all very well, but you can't beat making them with your mum. I mind when my mother used to make pancakes. We would eat them as fast as you could make them, with butter and homemade rasp jam. Man, they were braw. Lemon curd sometimes. She'd lay them all out to cool, and me and my two older sisters would stand aside her and help ourselves till they were all gone. Happy days.
Thanks, Davie, that's cheered me up. Hopefully it'll have the same effect on my disappointed 9-year-old. You always lived alone, Davie?
No, I was married once. I married a lassie called Heather. That was a long time ago now.
How did you meet her?
First time I saw Heather was at a dance in the Memorial Hall in Bankfit. 60 years ago, and I can still see her right now, with her green cardigan and her tartan skirt, and her red hair all tied back. She was 18 just, and worked in the office of McDonald Fraser's Market in Perth. She used to go in and out on the McLennan's bus every day.
And was she a good dancer?
Oh, aye. She was a broad dancer. She was that licht and cheery a while stuck she would float up to the ceiling, smiling and laughing and clapping her hands till they were red raw.
That sounds lovely. I'm trying to picture the two of you dancing.
Oh, I never danced with her. I couldn't.
What? Why ever not?
Because I was in the band. Wally Fraser on the piano, Danny Murray on the drums and me on the double bass.
Wow, double bass. That's a big instrument to carry. I hope you had a decent-sized car.
I didn't have a car. None of us had cars. I used to carry the double bass on my bike. I made a set of straps for it and carried it on my back as I pedalled along. Danny carried his snare drum and cymbal on his bike, and Wally just had to carry all his sheet music in a leather briefcase, and he played the piano that was in the hall. All the village halls had pianos in the days.
So how did you get to speak to her? Can you remember the first words you said to her?
Aye, it was tea, please, and a corned beef piece. She was helping with the teas at half-time. I was hour shy to say anything else until we were back in Bankfoot a month later, and I says to her, tea, please, and a cheese piece. Well, all the cheese pieces was finished. I didn't ken that. I just thought I'd hae a cheese in for a change. But she just smiled at me and patted the back of my hand and said, you wait there, I'll go and mark you in. Well, I thought if she was happy enough to make me a cheese piece specially, we'd probably get on fine together. So I asked her if she fancied going for a walk up towards Burnham Glen the next day. That was a Sunday. She said aye, and away we went. We were married 10 weeks later.
Just like that?
Aye.
It all sounds so simple.
It was simple. Couldn't have been easier. Mind you, most things was simpler in the days. It's like a million years ago now. And sometimes it's like yesterday. A lot of folk ask me how I never married again. Well, what me and Heather had was special. It just didn't last on anything like long enough. God, it doesn't bear thinking about. You said it's amazing the difference an hour can mark. Well, a lot can happen in a minute, half a minute, seconds even. 3 years after we were married, I was harrying a field no long sown out with barley at the time, in the dry, dusty days you get in the spring. I was using a wee Massey 135, but it was doing the job fine. It was a great going wee tractor. Anyway, as I was going towards the farm road, I saw them, Heather walking with her red hair and her red coat, pushing the wee lass in the pushchair, rattling down the farm road, all lined with daffies to get the bus for the messages. Even after I turned, I could see them over my shoulder. No care in the world. Well, I came to the far end, and by the time I got turned in the end rig, the bus was in the field, richt across the ditch and through the fence. I was off that tractor and running like a dafty, like I'd never stop, my jacket flapping at my back and my bonnet blowing off in the wind. Both them. The bairn was needing 2-year-old.
Oh, Davie. I'm so sorry. What rotten luck.
Aye, well, that was that. It was meant to be, probably.
What was your wee girl's name?
Rachel. It wasn't my choice, it was Heather's, but, I liked it all the same. I just looked after cattle and sheep after that. Pigs sometimes, and bees. And now they're all deeing. It'll be me next.
I'm really sorry about what happened.
Aye, me too. Seems a bit unfair, but there you go. I could never marry another woman after that. No after that. There's never a day goes by when I didn't think about them. You feel cheated when somebody you love dies. I mind a thinking, here, I wasn't finished with you yet. God, grief and pain right enough. Anyway, here we are, and that's it all back together, Rachel, thanks to your help.
Is everything okay, Davie?
No, there's another dozen or so dead ends, look.
No, I meant...
Including Derek. I think I'm going to lose them all.
You're some man. How about Sizewell? Is she okay?
Aye, she's fine. She seems to be getting stronger by the day.
Yep, she's a survivor, that one.
I think she's bumping off the others. I just didn't understand why. I'm fair flummoxed.
I did some checking on the internet. It's quite a big problem, apparently. All sorts of theories going around, but the most popular one is that it's the Varroa mite.
No, it's no Varroa, Rachel. I ken what to look out for there. This is something else.
Oh, right, well, I'll Google some more tonight.
You what?
Check on the internet.
Oh, I ken nothing about that thing.
You're the lucky one, Davie. But there's all kinds of stuff on there.
Some good, some bad.
Aye, well. Now then, 1 plate of macaroni cheese for you.
Thank you, Rachel. That's awfully kind of you.
I see your watering can there, Davie. What have you been watering?
Oh, nothing. I was just doing my paths with weed colour. It's easier than hoeing them.
Can I have a wee look at the packet?
Aye, it's over there.
What's a nasty looking stuff in this? OK, I'll check it out. Right, 4 minutes at full throttle on the micro for the macaroni and I'll see you tomorrow, eh? And I don't want to find you sprawled out on the deck when I arrive. I'll maybe see about getting you an alarm thing for round your neck.
Oh, I wouldn't bother, thanks all the same. Good luck with the pancakes. If there's only left over.
I'll bring you some tomorrow. Enjoyed our chat, Davie. Go easy, eh?
Morning. I fell again, Rachel.
I can see that. But here's a good incentive to get up. I brought you a chocolate eclair.
God, you'll get me the jail.
Aye, you and me both. Where's the weed killer?
I haven't had a chocolate eclair for years.
The weed killer, Davie, where is it?
It's just in behind the back door there. I haven't seen you for a couple of days. I was looking forward to a pancake.
Ah, well, we took your advice and scoffed the lot while they were still warm. That's why I brought you a chocolate eclair. Compensation.
I said I haven't seen you for a couple of days.
There's a good reason for that, Davie. I got the sack. Well, technically I resigned just before she gave me the sack.
You've been hived off.
I have indeed. I'm not a team player, apparently. And I should have been booking him by phone every time I visit a service user. That's you, Davie. You're a service user.
Am I? Jings. Makes me sound awfully important.
You are awfully important, Davie. You're the reason I'm here. Anyway, I should have been booking him when I arrived here, when I left here, when I blew my nose, scratched my bum. Oh, I don't know. I just had enough, and they've cut down the travelling time between visits, so I would have had to drive like a maniac. Oh, and she said I did too much talking with the clients.
Service users.
Service users.
Talking's the best bit.
I think so, Davie. Are you wearing a tie?
I just thought I'd tidy myself up a bit.
It suits you. A shave wouldn't have gone amiss.
Aye, well, I didn't want to get carried away. Anyway, it's their loss.
I think so too.
I didn't think it was a job for you anyway, Rachel. You didn't want to be spending your time looking after old duffers like me. This is where you say something like you're no an old duffer.
What? Davie, you're going to have to stop using this. Well, it's too late now, I suppose. Jack's doing bees at school, and he was saying that it's pesticides and herbicides that are killing off the bees, so I've been reading all sorts of interesting stuff. I was up till 2 a.m. There's a chemical in this which is very, very bad. Could be this that's killing off your bees.
Nah, knowing that, I made sure. I ordered out my seed catalogue, and that is bee-friendly. Look, it's got the sticker on it.
Yeah, I see that, but I'm afraid it's not bee-friendly at all.
It's got the sticker.
Yeah, it's got the sticker, but the sticker comes from the British Bee Society.
Aye.
And they receive donations from all sorts. And do you know who makes the biggest donation of all? 10 times more than all their other income put together. The folk that make this weed killer.
Really?
Yep. Only it's not a donation at all. That's the worst of it. It's a bribe. They hand out all this cash so that they can stick the bee-friendly badge on. People buy it in their local big posh garden centres, spray it all over the place, and it's goodbye bees.
I just bought it to keep the weeds down. I can't believe it would hurt my bees. But why would they say it was bee-friendly if it wasn't?
To get people to buy it.
But it's the weeds we want to kill, no the bees.
Well, Davie, that all depends on how much you want to believe. And some of the stuff I was reading, it's unbelievable.
They're all dead, by the way. All bar one. Sizewell. Sizewell B. She's still in there. Poor wee brute. The hell hived to her cell. I don't know why she doesn't just fly off somewhere to a nice big field of clover or a patch of heather. The most loyal bee I've ever had. When she dies, I'd be as well to hack up the hive for kindling. Next in to die after that'll be me.
Don't say that, Davie. I saw the axe the other day lying on the grass.
Aye, well, I would have done it too if I hadn't fallen over. But there's no point in haying a hive if I've no bees.
Davie, some folk believe... Now, I know there's all sorts of daft theories going about, especially on the internet, but some folk believe it's deliberate. Big business is killing bees.
What the hell would they want to do that for?
So they can become even bigger business, I suppose. Greed. That can be the only reason. Now, you've been about farms all your life. Did you know that some places, they no longer plough the fields before sowing? They just spray them with weed killer and drill the seed straight in.
Without ploughing?
Yep.
But you've got to plough the ground. God, we've been ploughing for thousands of years. Nobody kens that.
They claim it saves time.
Time? My father used to plough with a pair of horse and a wee single furry plough this big. If he was lucky, he'd manage an acre a day, and there was still plenty of time. He kept bees too, and they didn't OD. In fact, he used to end up with our money. Nae time for ploughing. I've never heard such rubbish.
The stuff in the weed killer stays in the ground for years and the bee population decreases, then vanishes altogether. Now, you know better than anybody that plants need bees for pollination. No bees, no pollination. No pollination, and sooner or later you won't be able to buy an English apple, because there won't be any.
Nae mere apples.
Oh yeah, there'll be apples, but they'll all be grown by big business in Africa. They're at it already. Square miles of orchards, the ground between the trees so toxic. There's no bugs, no birds, no bees. The trees all artificially pollinated until the ground can give no more, and then they up sticks and move on. It's all to do with controlling global food production. Do you know what the worst thing is, Davie? They can't lose. There's people in the commodity markets making fortunes on these crops before they're even planted. They even hedge their bets so they profit if the crops fail.
But all we're trying to do is grow food for folk to eat and hopefully make a bob or twa while we're at it.
A bob or two is no longer enough for some people.
Greed, eh? Dearie dear. It's an ill-divided world right enough.
How do you fancy an adventure, Davie?
Och, I'm echt, Rachel. I tell you, my adventuring days are well and truly over. No that there's ever been ony.
I'll take that as a yes. The guy in this photo is the CEO of the parent company of the folk that make the stuff that's in your watering can. He is a multi-millionaire. Some reckon he's maybe a billionaire, involved in all sorts of dodgy goings-on.
Oh, he looks like quite a nice chap.
He may look it, but he's not. Looks can be deceptive. You've got to look through the nice suit, smart haircut and the posh tie and into the man himself.
Oh, right. I'll try. I'll look into his eyes. The eyes are the windows into the soul, they know.
So it is said.
Oh, aye. I see what you mean now. He's an evil blighter.
Wait till you hear this, though. In 2 weeks' time, he will be attending the COP26 conference in Glasgow, not 60 miles from this very house. I've got a plan. I propose that you, me and Sizewell B get a train to Glasgow with Sizewell in a box with wee holes in it so she can breathe.
Aye, I'm listening.
We get as close as we can, bearing in mind they'll be spending millions on security at that thing, and when our man comes out to give his big speech to the world's media, we release Sizewell.
Aye? And what'll happen then?
This is the brilliant bit. This man is one of the very few sufferers of bee sting anaphylaxis. One bee sting and he's dead.
No.
Yep. We let Sizewell out of her box. She makes a beeline straight for him, stings the bastard on the nose and kills him. Justice.
Yeah, bugger. Oh, I didn't ken no, Rachel. I wouldn't want to be part of a murder plot.
This would not be murder. Murder is the unlawful killing of one human being by another. This would probably be a Category B homicide.
Taking the man's life.
Davie, she's not going to do it. I mean, I know it's the plan. You know it's the plan. But I doubt if she does.
Well, we haven't told her yet. She's an exceptional bee.
She's most likely to have a wee fly about and land on the nearest dandelion. But what say we try it and leave it up to her? Que sera, sera.
What will be, will be.
If she does, she does. Serves the bastard right. And if she doesn't, well, it'll have been a day out. So what do you think? To be or not to be?
But what if she does sting him? And he does die? Could you live with that?
Yes, I could.
Aye, what the hell, so could I. This is more like the sort of thing you should be doing.
What?
Steering things up a bit.
What do you mean?
This kind of thing. I think you could be the Scottish Greta Thunberg. That lassie talks a lot of sense. I've listened to her on the wireless. She's like you, fired up and angry. It's what the world's needing, Rachel. Young folk like yourself standing up and telling these silly buggers in charge where they're going wrong. Somebody has to do it. and the world's needing changed, and you're just the one to do it.
That's not a bad idea, Davie. In fact, it's a good idea, but...
Oh, aye, but my head's full of good ideas. I can just see you trailing about protesting here, there and everywhere. Faz Lane, that's where you're needing to go next. Stop these submarines.
Oh, aye. And what about Jack?
Take him with you.
He needs to go to school.
Are you sure about that?
Well, no, I'm not actually.
I think you could teach him more than enough.
And where would we live?
In a van.
Shut up. Stop putting ideas in my head.
I think we should show Sizewell the photo.
Good idea. What kind of van?
A big one. Oh, she's doing in her wee dances, look. That means she's got her dander up. Right, take the photo you wa. Aye, look, she's calmed down. Now show her the photo again. Aye, look, she's going daft again. She's pounding her wee chest with her arms. I think it's meant to be. Canny woman, man, your curse.
You are not going to Glasgow on the train with me without shaving. You were like an old tramp. There now, smooth as a baby's bum. Right, are we all set?
Aye, I think so.
Checklist, Davie, checklist. Me,
Check,
you,
check,
Sizewell in box,
check,
train tickets,
check,
photo of target,
check,
and flask in pieces.
check.
That's us then, Mr. Taylor. Shall we go?
Aye, let's go and change the world.
Come on then. In To Be or Not To Be, Rachel was played by Angela Ness. Davie was played by Bob Davidson. To Be or Not To Be was written by Bob Davidson, and the play was produced by Bob Davidson and Angela Ness.